Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is all about contour and highlighting, and I'm extremely excited because it's probably one of the most requested videos ever. So if you would like to see how I contour and highlight, got a little cheekbone action here, some little highlight around the eye area. It's a lot of fun, guys, a lot of fun. So if you'd like to see how I get this look right here, please keep watching. Okay, and I'm going to just go ahead and jump right into it. And once again, I can't emphasize enough that this is not something that I do every single day. This is a very dramatic contouring look. This is something that I would do for photos, or if I've got, you know, something, a big event coming up, anything to do with pictures. This is a great thing to do. You can downplay this look a little bit. In other words, you can do a cream contour only or just do a powder contour only. But today I'm going to go ahead and do both. And so I started off, I've already got my eye makeup on, obviously, and I always apply my eye makeup before contouring. And the reason being is because, like I've said before in my numerous videos, fallout tends to happen underneath the eye area. So if you apply your eye makeup first, it's a good thing to do because of the simple fact there's a lot of fallout with eyeshadow. So when you conceal at the end, it kind of gets rid of all that, brushes it away. And today I used, as far as foundation, I used the Bare Minerals Bare Skin. This is a great mineral-based foundation, and I use the color Bare Beige, and this is good for contouring, or using while contouring, I should say, because it's light. You do not want to use a heavy, thick concealer or a heavy, thick foundation when you are doing contouring, because you put a shitload of concealer and contour cream on your face. So there's no need to use a heavy, thick, maximum coverage foundation. So this is the one that I've used today. There's tons of different ones out there. This is just the one I decided to use today, people. And so I applied this, and I believe I just used a regular foundation brush. So far I've got on my eye makeup and my foundation. And so I'm just going to get right into the contour part of it. And I'm going to scoot up a little bit here. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me cream contour. There's different, actually it's not a contour, it's just a cream foundation, and this is the color 330. You have to get a couple shades darker than your skin color. I cannot express that enough. So if you don't get a dark contour, it's not going to show up. It's kind of defeats the purpose. So I went ahead and got this. This is Maybelline. I believe it was like $5. You can also get the Anastasia Beverly Hills has a great cream contour, but this is what I've decided to use today, and I have not used it yet, so we will see how this goes. And I'm going to cross my damn fingers, because you never know, people, you never know. And stick foundations are great for contouring just because it's easy application. So when you contour, you want to, it's basically shadowing. And by that, I mean anything that you want to not pick up the light is where you want to put the contour. So I always apply my contour. I start off here. And this is going to look, pardon my French, but, well, I just won't say the word, freaking bizarre. Okay, when you do this and it's not blended out, and if you walked around, I've done this before, people are going to look at you like you're batshit crazy, and I am batshit crazy, but when I do this, I look even more batshit crazy. Okay, I'll shut up now. So basically, I'm just going where I would want the shadowing. So I apply it there, and then I apply a little tiny bit here. And then as far as the cheekbones, which is the most important part of contouring, you want to kind of find where the hollows of your cheeks are, and you can kind of feel them. So if you do that, that's the best way, or a good guide to know where to apply the cream concealer or the powder contour. I can't talk today. And I start on the top of the ear and kind of just go on down. And I got the hair in there. We don't want that. You just kind of do that, and then you do the other side, feel out where the cheekbones are, kind of at the top of the ear, on down. And then as far as down here, anything down here, especially if you've got some double chin action like I do, I usually just apply a little bit here. And you want to go down. And I can't express enough how important blending is when it comes to contouring. If you do not blend this out, it's gonna look flipping crazy. Okay, so and for the nose part, this is tricky. You want to, and this is, like I said, this is a very extreme look. Not everybody has to do this, but if you want to make your nose appear to look a little bit smaller or thinner, this is a good trick. And what you're gonna do is, and you do not want to apply this line way on out because that's gonna make your nose look wider. So that's a big thing that I've seen people do, that it just doesn't look right. So you want to make sure that the cream contour is somewhat close and just go straight down the nose. And I like to apply it a little bit here. Kind of gives you that button nose, like Marilyn Monroe type button nose look. And once again, this is extreme. I do not do this every day, so save the comments, people. Save it. I don't want to hear it. And I like to apply mine a little bit upward, kind of where my shadow goes. So if you kind of see here, that's where I've got the contour. And yes, I look rather nuts. And that's okay, because once it's all blended out, people, it looks flipping amazing. Especially in pictures. It's a really good look for pictures. Okay, and as far as concealer, I'm obsessed with it. It's the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, and I believe it's medium custard. I absolutely love this stuff. It's the best concealer ever, and the reason being is because it does not crease, and I just love it. So basically, where you're going to apply your highlighter is where you want the human eye to focus on first. So anything that you want kind of pushed out and not shadowed in is where you put the highlighter. So what I do, and this is very important, a lot of people tend to apply their concealer just like right here. That's a big no-no. You always want to apply it in a triangular motion. And now this is going to look batshit crazy, but I'm telling you it's not. And you bring it all the way up, and basically what this is going to do is going to give you that carved look, that very cheekbony, Kardashian-like look. This is what they do. So I do this side, and then I go ahead. Sorry, you guys, I have one mirror here, and it's virtually impossible to do. I need like 4 or 5 hands. That'd be great. So you do one side, you got to do the other. I just kind of draw a line here. Go over, and again that triangular look there that we've got going on. I'm just going to walk around the house like this, see what people do. So again, anywhere where you want to radiate light, so underneath the eye area, and then I also apply it here. And by putting the darker contour here, it's going to make your forehead look a little bit smaller. I've got a rather big freaking forehead, so thank you, contour. And then I go ahead and go down the nose, right here on the Cupid's bow. I usually do my lipstick after this, and then a little bit here. Anywhere where you want the light to catch. And then last but not least, I do a little bit underneath where I just contoured on the cheek area. So as you can see, this is kind of where I highlight and contour. So again, the darker on the forehead, down the sides of the nose, carves out where the cheek area is, of course on the neck and down the chin area. And then the highlighting, of course, goes underneath the eye, down the center of the nose, where the Cupid's bow is, and down on the chin. Okay, now, the most important part, and I can't express this enough, is blend, blend, blend. If you do not blend this out, you're going to look absolutely freaking crazy, okay? I use my infamous beauty blender. I've got some spray here. I usually get it wet. Actually, it's still damp from before. I get it wet, squeeze it out so it's damp, or I use a setting spray. This is Fast and Fabulous makeup setting spray by Hard Candy. I just got this. It's like $6 at the drugstore. Spray it down so it's damp. And what I do is blend, 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 blend. So I'm going to start blending out the highlighting part first, and then I move over to where the contour is. So this is basically what I do, and it's going to take some time. So we don't want any harsh lines when contouring. We want it to look natural. Okay, so as you can see, I used the beauty blender, and I just pretty much blended the shit out of my concealer here. And so what I'm going to do next to blend out my contour is I'm using, this is a Clinique, it's an eye shading brush. I believe Morphe has a brush similar to this, and so does Sigma, but this is what I'm using right now. It is just a Clinique eye shading brush. It looks like this. They don't have numbers on their brushes, but it's the Clinique eye shading brush. And I just take this and blend, 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 blend. Now, the highlighting part isn't as bad to blend, but this contouring part, you've got to blend it out. So I start off with this little brush. Okay, and once that is all blended out, I literally blend, blend, blend. I mean, and it's going to take some time, but it's so important. It's probably the most important step if you're going to use cream contour or even powder contour. You have to blend it out. Okay, okay. So the next step, oh, my nose itches, sorry. Next step is the powder part or setting. Now, for setting my concealer, I like to use, it's just an angle brush like this. I think I got it at the dollar store. They're very cheap. You know, they just look like a regular angled brush. And I use the Kat Von D. I'm using for the powder part, I'm using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. And as far as the highlighting shades, I use the center one here, which is Lyric. And I use this last one here. So the center one is Lyric, right in the center there. And this last one right here is Lucid. Those are the two that I'm using. And I kind of use them both. So I take the angle brush and I dip the angle part in both of them. Tap it out. These powders are really fine, which is good. It's a good thing. Now, this is this is the term, it's called baking. That's what in the makeup community or makeup artist community or whatever you want to call us. It's called baking. And what you do is you take your powder and you use your angled brush or your angled sponge like this, and you're just going to apply right where that cream contour was. And you're going to let it sit there. And it looks bizarre. I know this, okay? But let me tell you, it really does work. It sets everything so that it kind of sits there for a while, and then at the very end you can just blend it all out. So right here. Sorry guys, I'm doing the best I can here. So you're just going to let it sit. And then I also take it and I get out my little brush that I used before and I dip a little bit in the highlight part and I kind of go down the center of my nose. And this is going to help with making your nose, like I said before, appear a little bit thinner. And then you can kind of take it and go around just anywhere where you highlighted is where you want to set your powder. Setting the powder is so important, you guys, and the reason why is because if you don't set the powder, basically that cream contour is going to move around everywhere. And if it's warm outside, forget it. You have got to set it because setting it makes it stay in place. And it's also important to prime your face. I forgot to mention that. I'm sorry. Ugh. I used the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer prior to putting on my foundations. That's very important too, to make sure everything kind of stays in place. And as far as contour with the powder, I go in with, this is a Sigma, I believe these are, I've got two of them here. I use one for darker shades, one for lighter shades. It's the E40 Sigma. Looks like this. And I go in with the contouring part, which is the darker parts obviously down here on the bottom, as I'm letting these sit. Oh, actually, skip that. I just made a big old boo-boo. God damn it. Okay. We're going to go ahead and delete that part. Yes, we are. So, when we've set underneath the eye area, I'm going to go in with my Kat Von D Shade and Light brush. And it's got the contour side here, and it's got the highlighting side here, all in one. It's freaking amazing. I can't live without it. And I'm going to go ahead and dip it in the two colors that I use, the two shades. Tap a little bit off, and to set the bottom here, which is, like I said, extremely important, go ahead and just press in, and this is great for just getting in there, this side of the brush. And you don't have to worry about blending right now, because we're going to go in and do that at the end. Right now, you just got to make sure you gotta set that powder anywhere where you highlighted. You gotta do it, you guys. You gotta do it. And again, I'm leaving this out. Okay. So now we're going to let that set, and we're going to go in and contour. So for the contouring colors, I'm using these two here. Obviously I'm using Shadow Play more than others, and that's the center shade here. And then the Subconscious is this shade here, which is a wonderful shade. It's more of a gray tone. I'm using these two right here. This one I haven't used all that much. It's a little bit dark and summer's kind of fading away, so I'm not using it as much. But I go in with my Sigma E40, which looks like this, as I said before. It's a Sigma E40. Sorry, guys. And I go in with Shadow Play. Yes, Shadow Play. Tap it. And like I said before, you're going to want to go in, see where the powder's baking here, so you want to go above that. And so you start at the top of the ear and carve out where your cheek is. So right there. You don't want to go too far down, because then you're going to look kind of like a clown, like your smile is expanded. Like I said before, this is all about, it's shade and light, exactly what this palette says. So it's shading in the areas that you want more pulled back, highlighting the areas that you want to come forward and for the human eye to radiate towards first. So this area here, this area here. So what we're doing is just basically giving the cheeks dimension. And I kind of let that sit, and then I use, again, the Shade and Light, the contour end, dip it in the powder here, and I'm going to go in where on the forehead where I applied the cream contour, I'm going to go in and contour and kind of carve out here where I put the cream contour. And basically this is going to make your forehead appear a little bit smaller, a little bit more defined here. Well, I wouldn't say defined. Who wants a defined forehead? Just makes it appear, it makes everything appear smaller when you shade it out right here. Kind of go up into the hairline a little bit. It's all about blending. Blend, blend, blend. And then again here. And then if you've got a little double chin action like I do, this is great because it kind of conceals that anytime you shade around this area. And it's important to blend it out, to bring it all the way down. Blend, blend, blend. This is a kabuki brush. Then again, I'm just blending out. It's so important, you guys. Anywhere you see any major lines, you've got to blend it out, or it's defeating the whole purpose. You don't want to look unnatural. Although this is a very dramatic contour look, but you still want, it's just key to blend out. Okay, and so as you can see, everything's still baking. Everything's still sitting there. So now I'm going to go in and highlight. And I do my a lot of people would do the highlighting last. I do it prior to putting on my blush because I just feel like the highlight kind of sits underneath the blush, kind of radiates underneath the blush, so it looks a little bit more natural, but to each their own. Right now I'm using the NARS Albatross. Looks like this in the color Albatross. And I use my fingers just because I like a natural highlight. I don't like an overboard highlight, not too much anyway. And I just kind of tap my finger in here. And you want to apply this right where the cheekbone is. Right there. And this is kind of a yellowy, it's got a yellow tone to it. It's very pretty. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it is very pretty. See that right above the cheekbone. Mm-hmm. You can see my highlighter from space. Yes. I'm a dork sometimes, you guys. So weird. Why am I whispering? And then again, kind of down the nose area. And then I always put it here. And what that does is it just makes your upper lip look a little bit bigger than it really is, and I need all I can get. Oh, yes I do. And once I've got that highlighter on, I go in and I use, again, the E40 Sigma brush. And I go in and I do the highlighting on the nose, and I'm using the the contouring on the nose, I'm sorry. And I'm using the two contour shades that I mentioned before, Shadow Play and Subconscious. And what I do, now this is tricky, okay? You don't want it to look unnatural, so it's very important to blend this out. If you're gonna do the nose technique, you've gotta blend it out. So I take just the E40 brush, and these are used for the eye area, but they're very fine-tuned type brushes, so they're great for contouring. So, and I just take it and I go down the sides of the nose here. And blend, 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 all the way down. And like I said before, it's going to give you the appearance of a thinner nose. And then I take the kabuki brush and I put the highlighter on. So I take this kabuki brush and I just blend it all out, so there's no harsh lines. Make sure the highlighter as well is not chunky. Highlighters can tend to be a little bit chunky. You don't want it to look like you got a big freaking sparkle on your face. It's all about looking natural. And then I go in and I apply my blush, and I use a MAC, I think it's the 150, MAC 150. And I'm using a MAC blush as well in Peaches. It's a very pretty peachy color for the cheeks. tap that off. And when I apply my blush, I like to give a nice little smile because you want to apply it to the apples of the cheeks. That's just a nice peachy color, and you basically just apply that to the apples of the cheeks and kind of blend it out a little bit. It's all about blending. I don't know how many times I'm going to freaking say that. It's probably pretty annoying at this point, but hey, I'm just stating the facts here, folks. I'm all about stating the facts, and if I don't tell you to blend out, we're all going to walk around looking like shit, okay? Alright, so the kabuki brush. So basically I've baked my highlight here underneath the cheekbone, and it's, you know, pretty much been blended out everywhere else. So to get rid of this here, I just take my kabuki brush and dust it off. Make sure there's no harsh lines there. It's always fun to try to talk like this on the side of my mouth. I'm sure it's very attractive too. And that, folks, is about it. And then, of course, if you want to go in and freshen up the rest of your makeup, go in and do that, like the lip gloss and whatever else you've got going on there, girl. You just go on in and you fix it all up. But that basically explains how I highlight and contour. Again, blend, blend, blend. Can't say that enough. If you see any harsh lines, just go in and blend them all out. And like I said before too as well, if you want to just omit the cream part and just do the powders, that's fine, or vice versa. And another thing like I want to say, like I did before, is that this is an extreme look, so it's not something that I do every single day. I do not walk around with a pile of shit all over my face every single day, like with contour and everything. But you know, I guess if you want to, you can. I particularly do not. So this is good for like pictures or a wedding or things of that nature. It's excellent for that. And last but not least, to set it all, I use a setting spray. I usually use the MAC Fix Plus. Today I decided to try a little something different. This is the Hard Candy. I heard this stuff is really good. Fast and Fabulous makeup setting spray. I just picked it up at Walmart. And this basically seals it all in so it stays put. So in the summer heat, even in the winter months when it's snowing and you're out in a freaking blizzard or something and my bun's whipping around, this spray will probably hold everything in. Hey, maybe it'll hold my bun in too. I don't know. I don't know. You never know, you guys. Okay? Okay. So you just give it a couple sprays. Ooh. Fruity. Yeah. And it just kind of sets everything in. It's very refreshing. And I think that'll do it, you guys. So that is how I highlight and contour. I absolutely love showing you guys this stuff. It is so much fun for me. My bra strap showing. That's classy. And so thank you for watching, and once again, if you would like to check on my current updates, you can check out btbyjennifer.com, and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it, and thank you so much for watching.